Hi boys and girls. This week's math topic is rounding to the nearest 10. So when we look at numbers and we decide to round them, we're changing the number to a value that's a little bit easier for us to work with. So look at our first example today. There are 32 people in line ahead of Cassandra to buy popcorn. About how many people is that? Well, let's round to the nearest 10. So one of the strategies with rounding to the nearest 10 is this. It had me write 32 down and it says, okay, I want to round this number. That's called rounding to the nearest 10, determining what digit I want to round. So it has you circle the tens, and then it always has you look at the digit to the right. So it tells us in step 3 that if the digit is less than 5, do not change the circled digit. So I would leave that 3 right there, and see how it tells us that 2 is less than 5? So that digit in the ones is not 5, it's less than 5. So I'm going to make that a 0. It says replace all the digits after the circled one with zeros. So that's one strategy. Circle what you're trying to round and look at the number to the right. And this little tool over here is something that you'll see us use, and you can always write this on your sheet. If I look at that number and it's between 0 and 4, I stay down at that 10. I remain at 3 in the tens. But if that number was 5 to 9, I would go up to the next 10. And obviously that number would have been 40. A better way to see that is using a number line. And here it is right here. Here's 32. You can see that 32 is just 2 away from 30. So it's closer to 30 than it is to 40. It's 8 numbers away from 40. So that number 2 right there determined that I would stay down and round this number to 30. If that number was something different, if it was 5 or higher, I would have had to go up to 40. And that would be right there. So that's that little tool that will help you determine this also. Okay, let's go to the next problem in the back. And this one says Sonia sent 165 text messages on her family's cell phone. About how many messages did she send? Okay, so use the place value chart. So same thing here. Now I'm going to write my little tool over here again. If the number is between 0 and 4, I stay down. If it's 5 to 9, I would go up to the next 10. So I circled the 6 because it's still asking me to round to the nearest 10, and then I look at that number to the right. This time it's 5, 165. So that number, 5, tells me to go up to the next 10. Well, what's the next 10 after 60? Yeah, it's 70. So I would write a 7 here, and then a 0. And that's what it tells us in steps 3 and 4. If the digit is 5 or greater, then add 1 to the circled digit. So that 6 would become a 7, and then replace everything at the end with a 0. Okay, so she sent approximately 170 text messages as rounded to the nearest 10. Okay, I hope that helps a little bit. Oh, we've got a couple more problems on the bottom. All right, let's do the same strategy here. I've got the number 58. So I'm asking to round to the nearest 10, and I look at my 5 and the number next to it. So that 8 fits in right there, so I would go to the next 10, right? I wouldn't stay down at 50 on this number because I'm at 58. I am closer to 60. So this number, I would add 1 to that, and it would be a 6 and then a 0. 60. I'm only 2 away when I'm at 58. Okay, this one, same thing. I circle my 8. I look at that digit. Well, that's a 5. So I increase that one to the next 10. So that would be 9 and add a 0. And the last one, 72. Well, that 2 tells me to stay down, so I'm going to stay, at 70. I would not go up to 80 because that 2 tells me to stay down at 70. All right, I hope that helps, and bye for now.